Hi and welcome. My name is Mikael Kosker Rasmussen and I'm working as an equity analyst here at ABGSC, covering Danish IT and tech companies. And today I have the CEO of Penneo, Christian Stenner, with me. So Christian, why don't you start presenting the company you're working for in 2-3 minutes? So.
Yes, thank you very much. So Penneo is a Danish company founded in 2014 by a group of entrepreneurs who got this idea of removing the hassle with all the manual processes and paper, by replacing it with a pen, a digital pen and digital solutions. And if we now fast forward to where we are today, we have grown fast. We are now a business-to-business software as a service company, and focusing on client-facing processes. And part of that is supporting onboarding of clients with our KYC solution, Know Your Customer, part of the anti-money laundering, and also processes with the service to delivery with our Penneo Sign solution. And today we have around 2,600 customers, mainly in Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Belgium, and Finland.
Okay.
And we are around 123 employees here end of H1.
Perfect. And then to sort of proceed, I would like to focus firstly on the short term. I mean, I think it would be fair to say that you're facing some difficulties in the short term related to the weaker demand, but also cash burn. And if we start with the former, then you're seeing more cautious buying behavior. Could you sort of describe that? What characterizes it? Is it different between the markets you're operating in, or? And what do the customers say when they're meeting you now compared to previously?
Yes, that's true. So we have grown 25% year on year, here latest here at the end of H1. But we also see this demand that is influenced by more cautious buying behavior. And how that affects us is that when we have our dialogue with our customers, the way they look at it, and then you can say they are more cautious in the sense that they basically at initial commitment to the solution, then they buy with, you can say, smaller portion initially. So that's what it means. And also they take a little longer time in the sales cycle because they have more rounds internally before they take a decision.
Yeah. Okay. But have you tried, or what sort of measures have you initiated to sort of mitigate these negative effects from the weaker demand now?
So what we have done is that we have really focused on you can say, increase our sales capability and lead generating activities. And what we have seen as a result of that is that, for example, here in H1 we got 253 new customers on board, compared to 201 last year. And especially here in Q2, out of those 253, 142 came in Q2 compared to 103 last year. So we can see the effect of really focusing on the lead generation and the sales focus. Yet then, despite the fact of more cautious buying behavior, then we still get more new customers on board. So the average deal size might be lower here initially, but with the volume, then we still, you know, say, somehow compensate for that.
Okay, sure. And then the second issue or the second difficulty you're facing is the cash burn.
Yeah.
But that follows an equity raise back in April 2022 of a substantial amount you raised there, and now you're investing into growth. Currently, I think your second investment round is about to end next year. Is that correctly understood? And sort of what are your growth investments allocation going forward? Is there any particular department that will see more growth investments going forward?
Yes, so correct. Here in last year we raised additional growth capital to invest in growth, and when we invest in growth, the reason why we do it first before we go, then what we can see based on our SES metrics. Because our set metric shows that we have a very little churn compared to at least to benchmark. It's between, you know, say historically 2, 3, 4%. In our large H1 report, it was 4%. And another SaaS metric is the net retention rate is 113. So when we look at, you can say, the upsell, so the existing customers that are buying, you can say when they are got on board, initially they have a commitment and then increase over the years, you can say with an average of 18.5%. If you look at our historical data, that's the investment we do, because what that translates into is that every time we put 1 million invest in getting a new customer on board, 1 million Danish kroner, for example, then over 5 years we get 7 million back. So that's good business. If you have the cash and you invest them in to new customers, and you get and succeed to get them on board, just as we have done over the last years, and also just here in the first half this year, then there's a good business model on that. So that's the investments that we have done, and secondly, we also invest in the future of our product. So not only in sales but also in our product, and of course that product, that's for future growth. We cannot see that immediately. Sales, we can see the effect short term. The investments in product, that's more long term. When we do these kind of investments, coming back to the second half of your question, when we invest in these, we always look at, say that we at the end of an investment round, we have the ability to become cash positive. We will never run out of cash. So that's the way we plan it. So the investment level that we put out is that we actually at the end, and right now we have the ability, and that's in our plans, to become cash positive at the end of H2 2024. And by that, what we mean by that, at that point of time, our ARR have, are at the level of our cost, and then it's growing. That's the beauty of a subscription model as we have.
Exactly. And then, I sort of want to get away from the short-term negatives, because there's obviously a lot of long-term potential in Penneo. But if you are to give me a short, let's say 2-3 bullet or 3 key learnings from this more difficult year, what would they be?
So 3 things we really say learnings is focus, focus, and focus. So when we look at these things where we just know that maybe raising additional capital can be difficult, we know we have a cautious buying behavior, then it's really to focus internally, be more lean, and really understand the customer need. And when we have that kind of focus, that's when we also get into creating more innovative product for our customers, and then so they really can get the benefit out of it. And what we see in general, and that's the positive side of it, is that the demand for our solution, that is unchanged. Because what do we deliver? We deliver efficiency. A customer today is manual processes. That's how they do it today. And with our solution, they digitalize that and automate that. So it's clearly efficiency. And on top of that, with our KYC, and know your customer, that's part of compliance, because there is regulation. Every time an auditor get a new customer on board, they need to do a customer due diligence as part of the onboarding. Yeah, that's a very cumbersome process. So that takes time. That's regulation. They need to do that.
Definitely.
Under these kind of circumstances we have right now, it's not only us who can be under pressure, our customer is even more under pressure. So from a demand point of view, they would need our solution. And that's what we've seen, for example, in Belgium, where a lot of the auditing and accounting, which we can say one of our primary focus industries, they really see that benefit. So we have seen a good growth in Belgium just here the last year. And that's because many of them, they have manual process today. They need to comply and get more efficiency. So they really see the advantages of our type of solution.
I'll definitely get back to the Belgian opportunity and also the German, because those are obviously massive markets for Penneo compared to the Nordic markets. But I just want to touch upon some of the, or your view on demand in a post-weak demand era, if that even exists, and how you're going to make sure that you're going to win against competition.
Yeah. So it's true. So right now we are basing, when we are looking at our plans, we are basing it on, that these kind of the situation where we have right now, where customers are really focused on only investing in the right solution that helps them, that will continue. And in that, we really see that where we are in, there's a demand going forward in Europe in general. So that is unchanged. So in a post, we've just increased regulation that you have to live up to, but at the same time also the whole digitalization trend that is seeing, not only in the customer themselves, but also from a society point of view, that we tap into that. And that's what we are doing. And we're doing it in certain industries where we really are focusing, like auditing, accounting. And that's where we also differentiate ourselves, because their processes and how they are doing it and how they become even more efficient, that's what we are focusing on. So we have co-created our solution together with the auditing and accounting industries, and we really help them. An example is, a recent win we have was an auditor, 13 employees here in Sweden. They have 1,000 customers they have to serve. And what they do is, for all those, they need to do their accounting and auditing. In order to do that efficiently, you really need to every single minute count, how you can reduce it and become more efficient. And that's where we're helping to make their processes that are client-facing even more efficient. So that, when we look at the post, the post is, that just continue. They will be on more and more pressure on it. So in that sense, we see that trend both here in Scandinavia, where we have been successful so far, but also south of the border of Scandinavia in all the other countries. So that's how we see the demand going.
Yeah, because I want to come back to the Belgian opportunity, but also the German opportunity. So far, growth or the progress has been super great in Belgium. Yep. What have you done correctly here? I mean, have you taken many of the learnings from the Danish market, then applied them to the Belgian market? And could you sort of elaborate a bit more on how you've succeeded so far and what you're going to do going forward in the Belgian market?
Yes. So we're taking a lot of the learnings from first Denmark and also in Scandinavia, so with Norway and Sweden, where they are clearly ahead of many of the other countries, where we've seen both with use of electronic ID as an identification, but also the whole digitalization. And those learnings on how we can improve that. And then we have taken that and then deployed that to Belgium. And initially, of course, we were depending on how the electronic ID, how that have matured the market. Originally, there were only a few, but compared to when we started and today, now more than 80-85% of all citizens have an electronic ID. Business to business is also that they can identify them as an individual. And we help on that. And we put on top of that. So the customers that we have, they can now take advantage of our solution and automate that. And we're taking one by one, auditing and accounting, and they are under pressure. And when they see that there are solutions out there where they can really benefit, then we can see that there is that one is also reference customers to the next and to the next and to the next. So at the beginning, we really had to understand the market and their systems and the local regulations. But when we have understood that and really streamlined their processes for the first 10, 15, 20 auditing and accounting, then we can simply call up, and that's what we're doing right now. We call one by one, and then we get the words out, and then the rest, they come, because they need also to become more efficient. And that's how we have seen. So basically, when we look at just a year back compared to now, we have grown 299%. That's a large number. That's because it was very limited. So we had the initial customer base. And when we could see, and now the demand is there, then we created a local team, and then we just went out to all the other ones and told them and showed them our solution. And then with all our reference customers, then that was this push. Yeah. And that's how we, for example, got just in Belgium here, 59 new customers in H1.
And what is the read across to Germany? You've communicated in your reports and also on your conference calls. We should not expect a significant or even any ARR effect from Germany, at least not anything noticeable here in 23. But how do you view the German markets? Are the demand drivers the same as in Belgium? Are they perhaps even stronger? Are there any structural differences that we should be aware of? And when do you expect anything significant from Germany?
Yes. So the same trend of digitalization, where we've seen in Scandinavia and now also in Belgium, we see that also beginning in Germany. So they are not known for the level of digitalization. That is very low. An example is that during COVID, one of the main issues they had when they had to send out to all citizens that they call in for getting a vaccine, they ran out of paper. Credible, so they could not send out. Compared to here, we just send out digitally. But they also, after that, and a lot of other things, they realized they really need to do something about it. So by accepting the digitalization, things don't need to be on paper. You can exchange information. You can trust IT solution. That's where we come into play. That's where we can help. And so we can really see a push in general, but also within the auditing and accounting, a push for we need to have digital solution. Combined with, they now also get more and more focus on electronic ID that we use as authentication in order to create very high secured solutions, both from a KYC, know your customer, and also from a digital signature point of view. Yeah. So we see that market. It's less mature than Belgium, so we will do a similar thing. That's the reason why we are said publicly right now. Don't expect a lot of ARR in the beginning. We will do the same, get some visionary customer board, make showcase and pilot projects, how it can be done. We also get some learning and we need to do some localization. That's kind of dialogue we have right now. And when it's ready, then we can expect that we can usually see some growth similar to what we have seen in Belgium. Because what we hear from the interviews we have done and our dialogue that we have right now with the potential customers in Germany, then they have the exact same need for getting more efficient and be compliant with EU regulation that we have in all other countries. And it's not possible to do that by manual processes.
I think I can just come with one final question before we're done. And that's, I mean, you've previously communicated you have very high ambitions for expanding to the rest of Europe, but obviously Germany, the next step, we should not expect it to stop there, right?
No.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so we really have, our vision that we have said that we really would like to be, the preferred solution within this in Europe. But at the same time, the way we go is we go into a market and then we secure that we not only have a foot on the ground, but we also have successfully can see we grow. So rather take country by country and then secure that is successful than spreading our investment so thin that we basically place one here and here and here, and then don't get the progress we would like to have. So for that sense, and when we look at Germany as if we do that right, that's a huge market compared to the other one. The same with Belgium compared to, for example, Sweden and Denmark is double the size. And within just our own industry of auditing and accounting, they have the number of companies they have is much bigger than compared to where we see here in Scandinavia. So these kind of markets, they are big. So we can also live off of Germany in the coming years. But our dream is to further expand.
So the conclusion must be there's a long growth runway for Penneo if you execute on your ambitions.
Exactly.
Perfect.
That's how we see it, and that's the reason why we get up every day and work hard on it.
Definitely. I think that's all we had time for today. It was a pleasure hosting you, Christian, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you very much.